All right, guys, happy Monday, February 24th. Coming to you really, really grateful, really excited. I come from a place in this world where staying at a beach house was never a part of our, thought process growing up. Even though I'm from San Diego, I'm not from the glitz and glamorous parts of San Diego. I'm from the rough, gritty hoods of San Diego. Now, my family gets to go and spend the weekend at this cool place, and it's all because of the relationships that I've built in real estate. This guy was an agent of mine for many years at Coldwell Banker, and we have a really good relationship. So when he does not have this beach house booked in Sea Ranch, he says, hey, can you take these days? And sometimes it's random days I can't get up there with the family, but it happened to be a Friday and Saturday and a Sunday. I'm like, let's go. So we had an amazing weekend, just chilling out, hanging out, and going down to the beach and eating. And grandma, who has limited mobility, she's like, I think this will be my last trip. And I was like, that's hard for us, right? We're driving. She's like, this is going to be my last trip. My leg hurts, my hips hurt, because she is unwilling at 75 years old to get a knee surgery. And her knee like literally goes inward like this. And so we have to have a conversation with grandma because everything else is doing pretty good. But she's just so stubborn that she doesn't want to be in a nursing home for the month of recovery. And so my hope, fingers crossed, is that we can convince grandma to get the surgery so we can have many, many more trips like that, because it means the world to grandma to be able to go on trips like that. And, we enjoy having her there. So I'm going to go over to Glenn. Glenn, you're going to take us out on the field on this beautiful Monday morning. You always speak words of wisdom. You are a man that has accomplished many great feats in his, over the past few years and in his life. So Glenn, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Always like the sentiment that you share with us. So go ahead, take it away. And thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I come off of a busy weekend, and one of the things that I always think about is that I focus on the haves instead of the have-nots, even if I don't have it yet. And when you go out there, don't let what might seem like a barrier or a block or a hurdle for you today stop you from accomplishing what you have tomorrow. Speak it into existence. Talk about it as if it exists today. Your subconscious does not know a joke. So be careful what you speak, because that stuff can come back and get you. So when you speak it, make sure that it's positive and in amazing light.
I love this. I love this. And I appreciate it. And how many miles did you log over the weekend? Was it 113, 130?
Yesterday was 112 miles.
Out there showing homes and making it happen. So Glenn, I appreciate the sentiment. Ashley, I wanted to go over to you really quick, and thank you, Glenn. You sent me your responses to the ChatGPT prompt. Now, I will obviously want to respect you and your, the personal journey that you were on, but I appreciate you sending that over to me. Anything you want to share from that really landed for you? Because it was powerful, and I appreciate you don't have to read the whole thing, but is there anything that you wanted to share from that exercise?
Really strong visualization exercise. It's good when you can put yourself in the emotions of it already happening, because then your actions are going to align with it already happening. So I really appreciated it. It is very individualized. So your 25 questions are going to be different than my 25 questions, because it's building based off of what you just told it. I thought it was going to be the same 25 questions for everyone, but I did really like that it was so individualized. And at the end, it just painted this perfect picture of exactly what I want to have happen at the end of the year. Highly recommend it. I'm huge on visualization. A lot of you kind of know my past and the living in the car part. What I don't know if I've shared is one time I had $0 in my pocket, and I went looking at houses in these model homes, and I sat in a bathtub and I took a picture of myself, and I let myself feel what it would be like if I owned this beautiful house, this beautiful bathtub. And I really feel like that feeling pulled me to actually getting a bathtub exactly like that one day. So I'm all on board with any type of exercise that really puts you in a place where you've already achieved that goal, because I believe that you'll start doing those things that'll get you there.
Well said. Well said. I really appreciate you sending it over. You guys, if you didn't do the exercise, highly recommend you do the exercise. You'll see the prompt on my social media. It's also, I can just put it here by the end of our session. I'll put it here. But Ashley, how long did it take you to complete it?
About an hour, hour and a half.
Okay, very cool, very cool. All right, guys, I want to share something with you before we get into moving the needle, talking about any type of action. Really quick, Ashley, let me get a quick mic check. Am I coming in clear? Because I might have spotty internet this morning because it's just the way it goes in River Island.
Yeah, you're good.
I want to share a quick story with everybody because this person, hold on. Okay, cool. This person needs all of the love, prayers, and positive energy that this group can give them. So I have a very dear friend of mine who has built an amazing, amazing company and an amazing team. Not sure if you know this team. They're called the Dream Team. And they are a very heart-centered team. Actually, some of our team members have gone to their team up in Sacramento. It just worked better for them. And I'm not mad at them. If it works better for you, it works better for them. But they've built this amazing team over the course of the last 2 years. They went from just being a husband and wife team and building now, I think, 30 agents. They opened up an office. They're building. Everything that they're doing is building on this dream, dreams pending, dreams sold, and they have a really heart-centered approach. Everything they do is heart-centered and a very, very empathetic team and empathetic leaders. Well, during this whole entire time of them building this company, Jerry got some unfortunate news. Jerry got some unfortunate news that he had a brain tumor, and the brain tumor was pressing on the back part of his eyes. And in order to do the surgery, he runs the risk of being completely blind. So here he is, younger than I am, having to face a really, really tough challenge of what do I do? Right? Do I do the surgery, risk going blind, or not do the surgery and risk dying? Right? And I just want to put this into perspective. I'm not trying to go dark with you guys, but I want to share this with you. So during this 2 years, he has been a participant in coaching. He has come to events. He came to an event that we hosted out in Mexico. He has built the team, every training, coaching, team event. He's been the one that's there. And every single time and every single event and every time he shows up, he's in so much pain. And I've experienced it being around him. The tumor is causing all kinds of pains in his hips and different places, and it comes up at random times. But they have built, and he's continued to build, and he never once has complained, never once has complained. And he's built this amazing, amazing team. And he went in for surgery on Friday. Now, I don't know how well the surgery went. It's going to take a few days for them to really evaluate how it went. But I want you guys to stop for a moment. I want you guys just to put his name is Jerry, in your thoughts, in your prayers, in your positive energy, your positive juju, and send that to him. I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. And now, obviously, I have, all the positive energy in the world for him and his family. But there's a message here. The message is through all of this, he still showed up for himself. He still showed up for his team. He never made excuses. They took, and now you'll hear me always say this, they took massive action despite how he was feeling. Despite, some of you don't want to take action on some days, maybe because you just didn't feel like that, or maybe you drank too much the night before, or maybe whatever it is. This guy has a fucking tumor in his brain that is life-threatening and is still out there every single day working through all the pain. So I'm going to ask two things of you guys today. A, send some positive energy and love to Jerry. But two, ask yourself, is there things that I'm not doing, knowing that I can, that I have the health, the well-being, I have the physical capability of doing, but yet I sit on excuses and some bullshit? I just want to keep it real with you guys, because his message really, really hit home, and I'm waiting to hear how it is, but I don't want to press. I don't want to press his wife. I'm sure she's getting blown up. And so I want to give them the space that their family needs. But I wanted to share that message with you guys because I thought it was important. I want to get any thoughts and feedback from you guys before we start our session today. Anybody got anything? We all rooting for Jerry? Yeah.
I'll say something. I can only imagine. I just put that in the chat. My family, we're carriers for nervofibromatosis. I always say that shit wrong, but it's a condition where mostly looks like birthmarks, but they're actually could be active tumors. My brother is a carrier, so he passed it on to my niece, and my niece has two tumors that are behind her eyes, and they've been there since I believe she was 3 and 4. So she has to take medication, so we make sure that they don't grow. So at the end of the day, like, this is something that stresses us out every day. So she's a girl. I can only imagine him having this business and the scale that he has to operate. So I can only imagine the stress it is. And that's one of the things that, triggers these things and can be, life-threatening to both of them, is that stress. So I'm praying for your friend, my brother, because I know how hard it is, because, shit like this always seems to happen to really good people. You know what I mean? And my niece is like the sweetest little girl you could ever meet. And shit's starting to get me emotional, because, that shit's hard, because, you never know, one day you can get that call. So I totally resonate with this, and I'm praying for your friend, my friend. I swear to God, I am.
Well, I appreciate you, man. And we, sending it right back to you and to your family. Ashley, I want to come back to you. You wrote something in the chat, and I don't know what that was too, but Nicole Penland, you had a contribution. Let's hear from you. Thank you, Otis. Let's go, Nicole Penland.
I was just gonna say, I really, really commend him, because I didn't have a tumor. My cancer was in my blood, but I know that pain, and pushing through that is not easy. And I couldn't imagine, like, risking losing my eyesight and all of that with it. So I definitely will keep him in my prayers.
I appreciate that. And I forgot to mention, not only is he a husband, he's also a father, and they have a toddler, and so he's a very, very active father, and, likes to do all the things with his rambunctious little boy. And, so I've just been reflecting this weekend. Let's go to Kelly Hooker, and then I want to come right back over to you, Ash. Let's go, Kelly.
So I just want to tell a little story. So my little brother, a little over 2 years ago, he was in a horrific motorcycle accident. He literally died, broke 27 bones in his body, punctured his lungs, liver, has a traumatic brain injury. He was not supposed to live, let alone walk, talk, do anything again. And I prayed over him for 8 weeks while he was in a coma in ICU. Anyway, he made it, man. He's rocking and rolling, playing music, walking, talking. And every day he tells me, he's like, Kelly, you don't realize it. It literally feels like someone's hitting. He goes, it would feel better if someone was hitting me in the head with a hammer. And he doesn't ever talk about it. You would never know. So on my days when, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, like, my husband's driving me nuts, or my son driving me, like, all these little things, it's like, I have to stop and think, like, I'm blessed, I'm healthy. And, like, and just spending the weekend with him this weekend, it really put things into perspective. And I don't know, I just kind of related to this story because the brain injury and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, that, like, I don't know. I don't even know where to go right now. I'm just a little bit lost, but yeah.
Well, Kelly, I know this conversation hits home for a lot of you. And hey, is it an emotional story? Absolutely, guys. I'm an emotional creature, and if you don't like that, then don't come to coaching. That's what you get when you get with me. You get some business strategy, you get some kicks in the ass, but you get a big giant heart that will tell you how it is and speak, truth. And so I appreciate that, Kelly. Ashley, you wrote something in the chat. I didn't know what that was too. You said me too. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, I was just saying me too, that I was praying for him too. But he reminds me of just so many people that have gone through so much. And it does, like you were saying, people have a choice. Some people, regardless of their circumstances, are going to choose those positive thoughts, are going to choose to show up anyways, are going to build regardless. And those people act as inspiration for so many. And there's so many people like that on this call that, regardless of their situations, are choosing to show up anyways. And then there's people that feel overwhelmed by their situations and don't. And so I am just grateful that you've brought him and his story into our circle to inspire us. And I will be praying for him just to show us that, listen, regardless of their situation, if he's chose to show up, we can choose to show up too.
Yeah, we were at an event once, and his wife is doing a presentation. He's standing in the back, and I was like, you all right? He's like, I can't sit down. I'm just in so much pain. He didn't leave. He didn't go back to his room. He didn't allow him to go lay down. He stayed there all day. I would see him, and he would take notes, and he'd have his pad against the wall. He would take more notes. And like he didn't complain at all. He didn't go back to his room and lay down. It was just, it's wild what he's been through. So you guys, I want to share that. Just put some things in perspective. If there's things that you're stalling on doing, even though you're capable, you're able, and you have the physical capabilities of doing it, then find a way. Find a way, because if Jerry can, so can you. So let's get right into business, you guys. I want to go around the room. I need a few people to get involved in this conversation. Let's just talk about business wins. We went the personal route. Let's talk about some business wins. Last week, what were some business wins? I follow you guys all on social media. I see what you guys are doing. I get the responses. I get the tags, all the things. But let's bring it here. Who has some business wins from last week? An appointment that you set, a new listing that you won, a buyer in contract, a BRBC sign. Let's hear from you guys. Let's get about 3 to 5 people in this. And then also the next part of this will be biggest challenges that you are facing right now in your business, and let's unpack that. So I got D, I got Otis up. Who else has a business win from last week? Stephanie, is that a hand clap or is that a hand up? Okay, hand up. I'll take that as a hand up, and then need 2 more. Go ahead if you can find it. If not, all right. Okay, cool. Now they're here. Love this. Let's go to Damian. Wins from last week, business wins. Let's hear it.
Hey, good morning. I had an event at headquarters in Oakland on Saturday. It was a book drive, and the books are going to supply tiny libraries around neighborhoods in Oakland. And it just created a lot of good conversations. I had at least 5 people that I didn't know come to the event and talk to me about real estate specifically, because we're at the office. And it just energized a lot of people, and again, created more conversations that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So, like 2 hours in, I thought of it, it was like I was doing an open house basically without having an actual house to show. Because again, I was having these real estate conversations. Hey, girl. But anyway, yeah, that was a big win. Looks like I'm finally going to close on the most difficult transaction that I've been involved in thus far today or tomorrow, which is a blessing. And just to circle back right quick on the story that you started with, I typically don't. I'm in pretty good health, thank God. But last night I had like debilitating back spasms, and I'm having to talk myself through it the whole time. And I mean, I couldn't move, and I'm damn near crying last night. But anyway, I'm talking positive to myself through this excruciating pain, but on top of being stressed out on this transaction. But I kept hearing the words in my head: you get to endure these things. You get to go through and learn from these transactions that can be hell sometimes. So it was just a reminder while I was in pain to focus on the positive and not necessarily the temporary shit that I was going through.
Well, my man, hopefully you figure out what's going on with your back. And I appreciate you sharing that win. I know that it's been a tough transaction. And I love how he just went right into right into dad mode. Girl, dad, speaking of, I absolutely love that. That's the realness of coaching. I'm going to go to Diana, and then I'll come to Otis. Diana, what is your contribution? And D, go ahead and put your hand down so I don't come back to you.
I went under contract last week for a listing, and I actually got a new listing in the same town. So
beautiful. And how do you procure your listings? What's been the best source for you to get listings?
I found 2 different methods. So one is once I get a listing, I farm the whole area to kind of let people know what's going on. I also farm areas if I have clients that are looking in a specific town. I know I have 4 kids. So I have all kids in the school system. So a lot of people interested in the town I live in. So I farm the whole area. I try to do a lot of marketing. I've been doing a new thing, like sending out to different areas in town, like the library. We keep something at the library that has our logo on it. That's like free for little kids. They have like a drawing area. So we put something over there. And then also I do probates. So I follow obituaries, and then I can go to the courthouse and I can search obituaries and find who the executors are. And then I just call them, because the only thing coming up for here is really estate sales. But you have to be one of the first ones I found to kind of call them, because there are lists that you can sign up for, but I didn't really have much success with the one probate lead generation. So I just kind of do it myself. I follow obituaries and go to the courthouse.
Yeah. So Dan, I would love to hear what you're saying when you actually call these people, because I know that, you know, it's a very, very tough time. We want to be super, you know, delicate and sensitive. So if you have something that's worked for you and you can put it in the chat or send it to me and I'll distribute it to the
sure.
But when you say if you're searching in an area where your buyer can't find any inventory, when you say that you're farming, how many houses typically would you, if I was your consumer looking for a house, very competitive, can't find any inventory, how many mailers are you sending out typically? What's your spend?
I'm not, I haven't gone as far into the mailer side of things. I'm cold calling people all day long. So I just find their numbers through property tax records. Like I'll do a property tax record of a street, and then I use Exact Dial, which I found gives me the best resource. And they'll tell me any numbers that are associated with that person and their address. I could see when how long they've been living there. So I know if it's somebody who's maybe older, I know if it's somebody who recently bought, and then I kind of just tailor my speech to that and just let them know, like, hey, do you know this is going on in the neighborhood? Somebody just got 100,000 over asking. If you're interested, I try to get in with like, let me give you a free CMA or drop something off, and kind of get to do like the face-to-face interaction.
I love this. I love this. Really quick, you guys, just give me a physical hand up. How many of you are searching in a market where it's a struggle for you to find that person a home? It's just, you know, there's nothing coming available. This formula will work, and it has always worked. You get on the phones, or since the weather's permitting us to do so, where she's at, it was 17 degrees last week. She's not able to do so. I would just go in and hit the pavement. And it shows and demonstrates to your buyers that you are proactive, you're down to do grassroots campaigns, and you're out there going to find that inventory and find yourself a new listing too. So Diana, really great contribution. Thank you for sharing, and congrats on a successful week. Let's go Otis, and then we'll go Stephanie.
Damn, Diane, I'm finna hit you. That was that was some gems right there. Big wins. Me and Jacob, we've been just doing a bunch of follow-up with these people that we've been working with for literally, I want to say anywhere between as short as a month to as long as damn near a year. And they're just falling like dominoes. I guess it had to be from the steps of intensity. Like we was really pushing the limit on calling people like 3 to 5 times, you know, a week. So, or sending them something through emails and stuff. So this past weekend, we finally got that builder. They were taking hella long with the contract. So we finally got that in with Ina. Me and Jacob, we're writing 2 offers right now today, hopefully. And then we probably got 2 to 3 more. And like our buyers are just coming back from long periods of touch. So that's good. But the biggest thing, besides the contracts and hopefully a lot of money, is I befriended a lender, Mitchell. He popped in on our buyers meeting because we did the breakout rooms, and I told him, check us out, hear this, let me know. Then they called me to do one, so I try to show off in front of them. But this man and me have been friended each other. He's got a book coming out. We're going to be hosting it at headquarters. We're going to be doing events with men, women, and then with couples, and kind of to bring out the, you know, different aspects of his book. And then he's really embodied listening to some parts of my inner story. So we're putting a book together. So man, just kind of, you know, really thankful about the connections that, you know, we get in this business, because you never know where they can take us at. Like I never thought about even doing this. We get together to talk real estate, and he's going to scale my business at least tenfold, putting me in some BMI meetings and a lot of things too. So you really work with those people that really want to work with you and put time into you. Like, you know, I never thought I'd be hella cool with a 70-year-old man. When you guys meet this cat, this dude is like so young at spirit. So just really really good finishing out intensity, and the results are now starting to come. So couldn't thank you and Vernon for cracking the whip on us, Elias. It's really been beneficial to me and Jacob's business as a partnership and as individuals.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate it, and I love all the contributions, the growth. You know, seeing Jacob get mentioned at the meeting, as well as you getting mentioned at their year in review. You know, it's a culmination, and it's all the things that you guys have been doing for all those months. Otis started talking about following up with leads. I put a script down below that I think is a fire script if you're thinking about re-nurturing those warm leads that you spoke to. Every single time you follow up with somebody, it is not a follow-up call, and it is not checking in. Those are the 2 worst things that you can do when you call a consumer. If you know that they're in your system, at some time they've looked at a house, I don't care what's going on, you need to audit before you make a phone call. And you need to call that person and say, hi, Nicole. Hey, it's Elias. I'm calling you. I know that I told you I'd give you a call back in February, as promised. Some things happened in the market and it made me think about you. There was this house that just had a price shock. 5 homes just went on the market. A new development just launched. Whatever the case is, right? You want to make sure that you have information that moves them down the funnel versus, hey, I'm just checking in. I mean, they're not really your friend yet. You'll become friends later on, I hope, but they're not your friends. So stop checking in with people. Stop saying, I'm following up. No, you're following up to take them to the next stage of the sales process and further down the funnel. I think this script is a really, really good way for you to start getting used to taking them down the funnel versus following up and checking in. Those are weak. Get better. Stephanie, let's go to you.
Good morning, guys. So last week I had 2 wins. I got 2 buyers into contracts, but one of them in particular really stood out. So George Martinez and I are working together, and we have these buyers who were previously working with a different realtor and lender, and they just weren't happy with their service. So George met them at an open house, and then he connected them with myself, and we started working with them. They put in an offer on a home. This home it started with about 10 offers on the home, okay? They accepted ours. Why? Because one, I had worked with a listing agent on a previous transaction. I got a DPA CTC in 8 days. So she knew who I was. She knew I could get the job done. So she had faith that we could do it. George worked really hard to build rapport with the agent. He called her several times over a week and a half, following up, shooting the shit with her really and building that relationship. So she absolutely wanted to work with us together, right? So by the time they accepted our offer, there was about 14 offers on the table, 13, 14 offers. And they ours over no contingencies, cash offers. They accepted our 14-day close with the DPA. And it just really filled my cup because I feel like all the stars aligned. What are the chances that they connected with us and I just happened to have worked with this listing agent before? All the stars aligned for these clients. And the clients are a young couple. She has some health issues. So it's a very deserving family. And I just feel like all the stars aligned and my heart is so full because I'm so happy that we were able to get it done for them. So for me, that was a huge win.
God, I absolutely love this. I love the messaging behind this because at the end of the day, everything that we do is based on solid relationships. And when you stop and focus on, think about how you are consciously thinking about how do I build a good relationship with this person, my consumer? How do I get on their good side? How do I ask them the right questions? How do I get into their emotional motivators? How do I allow them to experience me as an expert? All the things you're consciously thinking about it, right? You want to win for them, and winning for them means a win for you. And so you're always thinking about that. And if you take that same philosophy to your peers, to the listing agents, and to all the other people, the appraisers, the home inspectors, the roof inspectors, and you focus heavily on building those bonds and relationships, those are the things that are going to show up just like in this case. So Stephanie, I love it. And George is the type of person, he will talk your ear off until you fall in love with the guy. And so I absolutely love this for both of you. Really great share. Let's go to Dominique and go over to you with your contribution. Great stuff, Stephanie. Dominique, what was your win from last week or wins? Let's hear from you. Oh, I saw you're doing a class for the Davis Group. Look at you doing this
Yeah.
area tour. I like it.
Yeah, so I'm doing the Davis Group, and this weekend I'm a sponsor for a lender who's doing a ribbon cutting. She's gonna have about 20 sponsors there. It's gonna be like this big event. So going up there to set up. So I'm excited about that as well. Trying to get out there a little more. A win that me and Christina had was our 5-acre listing with the dwelling on it. And these guys are they own the mills on the land, and so they're not home investors or anything. They pretty much bought the land because of the windmills. So they're not really invested in the house. So it's been a very long, drawn out process trying to get them. So we had them sign a listing, it expired. We thought they were completely done with us, but kept on checking in. And when you check in with somebody, they're not your friend. You're not just checking in, you're providing valuable information. I made sure that every time I contacted them, it was because there was a pending sell with just as many acres as them or more. that it either went pending, it's sold, or, you know, it's coming soon. And then they finally got back to us, re-signed again last week. The listing was at 1.8 mil. So, you know, secured that. Then I went last week on Friday to a listing in Oakland, secured that. Her mom is now living in Sacramento, hot shingles, so the house is vacant, but it has a lot of her stuff in there. So we have a set date to come on May 9th. I gave them a calendar to say when they need to do things by. I sent it to them, and so they're like, I have no idea where to start. So giving them exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And that's what I always do. I always send my clients calendars and say, hey, if you want the house on, I'm gonna give you a date of May 9th. You're gonna come on at May 9th. So on, you know, March 1st, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start. And then on March 6th, it's gonna be done and we're gonna do this. And so just giving them a calendar, and they absolutely love it. So those are my wins.
Wow, I absolutely love this. I had a quick question for you, just for personal reasons. If a client is selling or purchasing a house that has windmills on it, like there's obviously energy that's generated from those windmills. Where does that energy go? What does it go to? Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because I'm unaware.
Yeah, so, but in this particular situation, this company bought the windmills with the land, so it's their windmills. So the windmills aren't coming with the actual property.
Okay.
But so that would be a whole solar company that actually owns it. And somebody told us, like, hey, don't be too hard on these guys. These guys are billionaires. They're one of the biggest solar companies ever. So when we met them, we didn't know. They're like just typical guys, you know, like they're like probably 35, 40 years old. They were like, okay, we trust you guys, just do it. Like, let's go, let's do it. And we were like, hey, you guys, like, you're not answering us, what's going on? Like, and I was sending them things. They're like, oh, sorry. And, you know, they finally got back to us. I was like, okay, let's just do it. Christina's like, here we are talking about our $1.8 million listing. There's not that much money, and they're billionaires and we're bothering these guys or whatever. But so they own it. They're keeping the windmills they're going to have it's going to be an easement on the property, just a little road to get to it. But I don't, as far as somebody owning it with the land, I think it's a totally different energy. It doesn't really go to the house, it goes to the energy for the
Right. And I love this. And I love how you guys, despite who these people are, billionaires or not, like you took charge and you told them the plan. You guys, this has been Kenny's formula, Jen's formula since day one when they sit at a listing presentation. Bringing a blank calendar and filling that out in front of the consumer of, okay, on this day, we're actually, you know, say we sign the listing agreement today. Okay, so we're going to start this, staging happens this day. We're going to do photographs this day. We're going to do copyright this day. We're going to go live this day. This is the first day of our open houses. We'll do 2 weekends of open houses. We'll set an offer date of this Tuesday. And then on a 30-day close, and let's say an average, this is the date that you guys were closed. And these are all the things that I'm going to do. So you're literally writing those things out in front of them. Also, you put that on your timeline, your marketing timeline, your event timeline. So you come to a presentation, not here's all of my listing presentation, here's all this, that's all important, but give me your project plan. Give me your project plan. I want to know what that looks like over the course of the next 30, 45 days. And I love that you did that formula. It works. It is tried and true. This is not theory. This is market tested. So well done, Dominique. Let's go to Heather and then we'll go to Chicken Mom. Heather, let's go to you. What was your contribution? You had your hand up for a moment, then it went up, down. I don't want to miss you.
Yeah, I have a listing appointment coming up. They'll be selling their house and also purchasing. So they came highly recommended to me from my past clients. So it's good.
Awesome. Awesome. And just so everybody knows, where are you at? Because Heather is brand new to the team. We're looking 2 weeks now it's been. Where are you at?
As far as where I live or?
Yeah. What market you serve? Where are you at?
I'm in Modesto. So I work a lot in this area and a little bit up in Calaveras, up in Copperopolis, or at least I was, but just all of the Central Valley. So yeah, I think I'm all done with all my onboarding. I've just kind of got to get used to it and get myself on a schedule. So, you know, just trying to learn all the tools and stuff that you guys have. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, so.
Awesome. Super, super stoked for you. Let's go to Chicken Mom, aka Brianna Tejeda. Let's hear from you, Chicken Mom. What's good in your area? What is your win from last week? Let's go.
So everyone who's been here for a while knows that I had a really hard time getting in front of my sphere and having them take me serious as a realtor because I've pulled teeth for 25 years and that's what everyone knew me as. So I have just secured my first listing from my sphere and I'm super excited. Like Sunday was the solidification. I'm sending everything over to be signed. We're going to be coming on the market at the end of March, beginning of April. They're putting in new floors. It's going to be beautiful and I'm so freaking excited. And I just I feel so satisfied that I finally was able to break through those doors and let everybody know I'm a realtor, baby.
Okay, I got to get some more context here. So, who is this family member? Is aunt, uncle, cousin? Who is it?
It's actually really close friends to me and my husband. They moved to Arizona and they have this condo or halfplex in Stockton that their dad was living in. He's now in a care facility because he got sick. So I definitely had to handle everything very carefully because we're friends with both brothers that have interest in the property. One is taking care of more than the other. So I have to be real careful to not involve my husband in it professionally. And the way that I've been handling it, I'm very proud of myself.
I love. All right, so you know that they have this halfplex. How did you actually book the original appointment to say, hey, listen, before you go and talk to anybody else, I want you to talk to me. I know that I've pulled teeth for 20 years, but I'm doing this now. Like, how did you bridge that gap and how did you book the appointment? What was the communication?
So part of it is I made sure that at all the parties and everything, I was bringing up my real estate, bringing up what I'm doing, making sure that I was super on social media because that has definitely helped everyone be like, I love following your journey. And then they casually invited me over. They were honest that they have another family friend that they've used before as a realtor. And they invited me over to take a look. And I brought it. I took it like it was a listing appointment. So I brought my notebook. I took notes. I went in, said what I felt. I wasn't playing. I basically walked in no, you're giving me this listing. I don't care if you've used your friend before. I know that I can sell this. So I went in there a little cocky, which is not my personality, but still humble.
I love this because it's like this blue tape mentality. And the blue tape mentality is I'm going to walk the house. I'm going to give it the eyes of a buyer. I'm also going to make some notes of some things that I recommend that we do differently or change or enhance. And I'm just going to put some blue tape and different things. And then you show them all those things. You took charge. You own that shit.
Yep.
Good for you. I love this. Now
they listened to me.
Of course they did, because you're compelling. And now you have a vessel to market that neighborhood and door knock and flyers and all the things and social media posts. So congratulations. This is going to be a vehicle to so many more listings in that area. So congrats to you. Love that bridge, or that you've bridged that gap from, hey, I was your, what was it, dental hygienist, and now I'm
your teeth pulling lady.
I love it. Hey, great job, Brianna. Good stuff.
You know what? I cannot thank you to all my girls my Central Valley girls and my team and everybody, because seriously, the confidence has been borrowed from all of you. So love you guys.
I love it. We borrow each other's confidence until it becomes our own. I love this, Brianna. Let's go, Crispy. Crispy, what's good, big dog?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I got both my listings in contract. One last night. That was a really difficult listing because of all the work and foundation issues, and it was we got like 10K less than what my seller wanted, but I convinced her to take it because she had to pay back some IRA money that she used to give her daughter gift funds on the deal I closed about a month ago, by the 19th, and we got this offer on the table that was going to close by the 17th. So I told her, take it, don't pay those taxes, let's wrap it up. Last week I got my San Diego listing in escrow. Nailed 2 listing appointments recently. One was from door knocking from Summer Intensity. She reached out to me off of CMA, dropped off to her house, and she was like, I'm getting divorced, Chris. I need help. So I kind of like a punk husband trying to devalue the property and buy it off her for less. And I kind of led her and coached her on what to do and the values I thought. So she was like, I want to make sure we use you. The other one was a referral from a lender I do business with in the past. Submitting offers and just keeping busy and staying in activity and just going up there with your head high and being the pro and letting people know. So keep at it, yo.
I love it, Chris. I love it. Congratulations. And, you know, a little bit on the San Diego story, if you guys don't know, Chris had a listing opportunity in San Diego. Instead of referring it out, which he could have, which would probably been easier for him, he went down there. He learned about that market. He signed up for the MLS down there, and he went and handled business and got in contract over $1 million. And so, well done. I mean, obviously, I don't recommend that for everybody because it's, you know, it's finances and money and travel, but he's been in this business for a long time. He was able to do that. So congrats to you. Congrats to Walter as well. So good stuff, you guys. I saw 2 hands back up. Otis and Diana, were those old hands or new hands? Old?
Mine was just, I wanted to add something to a comment you made after when you said that you call people and say, hey, some things happen in the market that made me think of you. I just wanted to put out there, a lot of times, excuse me, I look at anything that is recently sold in the towns that I'm either looking to get a listing in or I have people interested in. And I just say, hey, even if it's not my listing, I'll just say, hey, if it's EXP, then I'll say it's my brokerage. Otherwise, I'll say, hey, the house sold nearby you for X number over. I just wanted to give you that input, let you know what's going on in the market. And a lot of times, well, a few times it's turned into a listing because you think people have knowledge of the market because you have so much knowledge yourself from looking at it every day. But so many people have such a skewed idea of what's really going on. And when you call them with that input, it kind of gets people's wheels turning. So a lot of times that will turn into a listing for me. Just putting it out there for anybody else.
Yeah, God, I absolutely love that approach. It is a solid approach. Hey, Stephanie, it's Elias. Not sure if you knew that Anderson sold their house. That house sold for $50,000 over asking, and they had 12 offers. As you know, they can only accept 1 offer. So there's 11 other family members super heartbroken that they can't live in this area. Do you know anybody, any of your neighbors that's thinking about moving? No. Okay. All right. Well, while I have you, what are your plans with the house in the next 2 years? Like, fucking ask them. We're salespeople. I promise you that if you're providing them value, telling them that there's tons of activity in their area, that is valuable to them, because a lot of people don't know what type of equity they're sitting on because they're just living in their house. They're not even in what we're in. And then here you are as a light for them. And shit changes every single day in people's lives. So really good stuff. Let's talk about some challenges. Who has a challenge that they're facing right now that they want to throw in the bucket right now, put on the hot seat, and let's talk about any challenges that you're facing right now and see if we can't come up with an answer or solution here in group coaching. Chris, was that another hand or the old hand?
Oh.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. Anybody have a challenge that they want to face right now? Any challenge that they want to throw out? Anything that they're struggling with from a technology standpoint, communication standpoint, scripting, whatever it is. Let's go, Kelly Hilker.
Okay, so I'm still dealing with my seller whose ex-boyfriend is living in the house and what have you, right? And he wants to buy a new house before they sell this current house, right? Well, now he started mentioning, and finally I got him to fill out the pre-qualification, but he's just stalling. Like, I don't think this guy's, well, I don't want to say anything, don't want to put any negativity out there, but yeah, this guy's a pain in the ass. And so now he's mentioning the fact of maybe wanting to buy her out, right? But in this scenario, that like him buying her out is going to take me out of the equation, right? Or like, what do you guys think? Give me some input.
All right, so I want to hear from you guys because I think there's a lot of experience on this call. It's unfortunate squatters have rights. He's been in this house for some time. There's no no lease agreement signed currently, correct, Kelly?
Correct.
All right, and so is he okay with you writing offers for him contingent on the sale of this property?
Yeah. But
does that cover everything that he would need for the new house and the price point that he's searching it? Would that cover?
Yes.
It would.
Yeah. And that's what I told him. But yeah, he's like being really picky. I mean, honestly, I just believe this guy doesn't want to go anywhere and he's using every excuse in the book. And I've been presenting him with some homes, but I can't even really get him to communicate with me.
Okay. All right, guys, let's dive in on this one. I'm sure you guys got some good responses. Let's go Aaron, Chris, and then go JJ.
Sorry, my hand was for a challenge that I'm facing.
Okay, we'll go back to you then, unless you have a contribution on this one also.
Well, I mean, I like what you're saying. It is hard to get people out, and I've had situations where I had listing agreement fall apart because the guy just wasn't getting out, and it just didn't work out. I went and asked different people for advice on it, and for the most part, it was like the tenants had so much right. So I don't really have a whole lot of constructive information. I would love to hear from the group what they have, but I found it to be a real struggle myself.
I'm Glenn. I don't know if that's for a challenge. I should have asked this separately. Let's go, Glenn.
So Kelly, there's lots of people talking about how to handle the squatter and that part of it, but I wanted to address the part you said where you said that takes me out of the picture. Who gives a shit? You are an amazing, wonderful person with a huge heart. Go with your gut and follow your heart, and whatever is supposed to be will happen. So if he wants to buy her out, assist them to some degree on doing that. I know that if you just follow your heart and do what's right, that you will be rewarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, and I told my lender, who's a friend of mine, the situation. I go, let's not really push the part of buying them out, but know that is there, and let's explore all avenues with them. And so I am being, I am using my heart, even though I'm a saleswoman that wants to make the damn commission. I am, thank you, Glenn, and I am, leading with my heart in this. So.
Well, because if he buys her out, she still is she going to purchase a new home as well?
Yeah. So there's like 3 different transactions in this whole deal, and I could really use it right now.
And I get that, but I'm with Glenn on this one. If you lose 2 and gain 1,
right.
At the end of the day, as long as they're happy and they're transitioning, the breakup is smooth, I get it. But let's go. Who else has a contribution on this subject? Let's go. I think Ashley, Otis, you had your hand up really quick. Good stuff, Glenn.
Yeah, so you got to just kind of figure it out, take it as it comes in. Like is he going on a loan directly himself? Wait, who's the client? Like, actually, he's the client?
No, she's the client that I met at the Boo Bash last year in October. And then at the first of the year, I followed up with her. And so I know her directly. So she's the seller. But then I find out that she moved out of the house like few years ago or during COVID because he wouldn't get the vaccine, and she takes care of her mom. So he's been living there. She's been paying half of the mortgage, and she's going to give him half of the proceeds from the sale.
They weren't even
okay.
They weren't even there.
No, and he's not even on. He's only on the deed.
Okay,
she's being so nice.
Take it as it is. One thing is we always have to remember we have to take the emotions out. I think what's really catapulted me, not only the work was I putting in, is I start taking emotion out. It's just business. You got to figure it out how to all tie it together. This brings me to a deal that I had with Stephanie and Ina. This was the first time that I was going to pull off a hat trick, which was basically like 4 deals in one, but it got so stressful that I had to cut obviously the other end. So instead of probably making over like 50, almost 60 grand, I have to settle with cutting 2 out of that and just really focusing on my clients. The brother-in-law and sister were making it extremely hard. They were at risk of losing the EMD. So ride the wave, but make sure whoever is literally more sound fit to see you through the finish line to put all of your energy into that. And if you do it, all you can tell them is, hey, this is going to be a stressful situation already, right? So let's just take all of the emotions out of it, and let's just put all facts and all possibilities of what could be. Show them what you could do. There's bridge loans if you want to take some money out that she's going to give to them so he can go get his portion and you can buy with him, and then you can figure it out with her. So there's a lot of options. Don't stress yourself out. I know you need the money, but sometimes I like to tell a lot of the younger agents and the people that don't have the experience in these type of deals, give a little bit to somebody on this team or somebody that you know that you can work with that knows this experience and this deal to bring it to the finish line. Because not only will you get your money still, but you'll give up a little, but you're going to learn back a lot from the experience. And you got to really push that person to give it to you, because sometimes the other end might just want to check. But a lot of good people on this team will help you out and figure it out for you. So
Oh,
I'll
I'm
leave with
good.
that.
Thank you. I appreciate all that. I can handle it all. Don't worry about that. I got it. But thank you.
Hey, listen, really, really good stuff. And a couple key points here. You know, you may have to lose one of the deals, which I'm okay with. I'm just surprised that this lady's giving him anything. Like, is
That's how I feel,
her
but I'm not,
husband,
I don't want to get, this is my take on it, is I'm coming in here and I basically am telling everybody, I'm here to help facilitate everything for all parties in this transaction and make it a smooth, you know, transition to the next chapter in all of your lives.
Oh,
You
I
know,
thought you said he wasn't on the deed. He is on the deed?
he's on the deed, but not the loan.
Geez. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you said he wasn't on the deed. I'm like, this lady is out of her damn mind
But
giving.
he's on the deed. Oh, believe
Okay.
me.
Let's go to JJ. JJ has dealt with tenants, probably tenants that don't want to leave. So JJ, you had a hand up really quick. Was it a contribution to Kelly's challenge?
Listen, follow your heart, but follow the law. You are a fiduciary. So your job is not to secure your commission, it's to secure their best interests.
Right.
So beyond everything else, forget about the commission. If the best thing for her is to sell it to him and you don't make any money, then that's just the way it goes.
Yep, I get it.
Yep. And then, you know, maybe you help her down the road when she's ready to purchase her next home. So good stuff. And really, really, you know, this is a challenge to say the least. And so I'm glad that you brought this up, Kelly. Let's go to Aaron. We have about 4 minutes. Hopefully we can get through this. If not, we'll reconvene on Wednesday. Aaron, what's your thoughts? What's your challenge that you're facing right now?
Oh, mine is just with listings actually getting on the market. So I have 3 listing agreements signed and they're dragging. The one I have in West Oakland, it's a duplex. I finally got him to agree to have the inspections done. We got a contractor going out there on Tuesday. So he seems like he's moving along. We had tenant issues, so we had to get somebody out, but he just seems like he's dragging and his expectations. I got another guy who I had a listing agreement signed with him last summer. He canceled because he was just dragging his feet. Now this year, he's like, okay, I'm ready to go. But again, I'm having struggles getting him to fix the work. And I went up there and pointed, you got to take care of this, you got to take care of that. And like he's dragging on that. And then the last one I have, he signed the listing agreement, but it's almost like he doesn't want to put it on the market until he finds something else. And I'm trying to encourage him, like, look, if we're going to write a contingent offer, you got to be on the market and everything. So we don't have a lot of time, but those are my struggles, and I'm just looking for solutions on how, if that's normal, like do a lot of people experience that, or are there certain things you do to try to get that pushing a little bit faster?
Yeah, I'm glad Dominique raised her hand. Dominique, let's chime in on this.
I always find that sellers like that, if they need an extra push, and like I said, giving them a timeline saying, hey, okay, we're going to come in at this time because this is a great time in the market, giving them a day and time. If you're not meeting with them in person, go on Canva and make that calendar and then send it over to them. And then also keep sending them houses that just sold and like, oh, hey, look, this one is very comparable to yours. It sold within 14 days. It had 3 offers. They said it went over. So like getting them motivated by what's currently on the market. And if there's nothing really on the market, tell them that competition is low. So it's great for them to come on now while competition is low. That way everybody will flock to theirs. So being more consistent with like, being consistent, but also more aggressive in a sense of like, okay, we're going to come on the market this day. So we need to get all this done by then, and just giving them a timeline when to have each thing done and started by.
And I love this, like project manage it from the very start. And if they're unwilling to do so, then you're unwilling to sign the listing agreement. I don't need to sign a listing agreement just to feel good. I'm here to start this project. Now, if there's other things that we need to talk about and unpack and get through before we work through this project, let's do that now. But once we say we're on, the project starts next Tuesday, and I have my whole team and my whole crew, they're ready to go. So we don't sign listing agreement. I'm not saying you are, but I'm not signing a listing agreement just to have that signed. I'm ready to go. I'm at the gates ready to run, and all my timelines need to align with your goals based on what you told me. So we'll continue this conversation. Aaron, I think it's a really positive conversation.
Hey, real quick with Aaron, can I just tell him one quick thing? Hey, one thing, man, with that duplex is probably income property. You have to go through the process with them. explain to them what it is that is not happening. Everybody who is a business person, they have an idea of how to do things. He might be missing the actual process. You have to explain to him what it is and go through it as if the sale initiated, and you go through the whole thing, and then also explain to him, call me if you want to, but right now people are finally realizing that you shouldn't be buying properties above what they can cash flow for. So there's a big shift in that market right now. And the other thing that also you have to do is act as if he's already done it and be willing to clip him if he's not moving on your timeline. If he's just wasting your time, don't be afraid to clip him, man. Because a lot of times we just hang on to stuff hoping that it comes through, when in the back of your mind, you already know that nothing's going to happen with it.
That's right. Like you're the one that has to be assertive in this whole process, because now he's throwing off your timeline. And you have a timeline, you have a project, all your people are ready to go. So you guys, really good stuff today. I appreciate you sharing the moment with me about Jerry. Thank you for sharing your wins. Thank you for sharing your challenges. This hour went by really, really fast. So you guys have an amazing week. Know what's going to move your needle this week. Don't create any stories. Don't give yourself any excuses. Write your numbers down of what you're going to do, how many doors, how many calls, all the things that are going to move your needle in your business this week, and go out there and do it. You guys have a clean start. It's Monday. Go out there and handle your business. If you need anything, I am available. Make sure to reflect to the team calendar. I've put 18 different trainings over the course of the next couple of months for us to really dive into our sales skills, from open houses, working with buyers, working with sellers, phone skills, all kinds of different things. So make sure to see the calendar, and I'll make sure to remind you guys on coaching. But have an amazing Monday. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Peace.